Morning everybody, how are you doing? Today's video I'm going to show you one of my rental properties that we're currently renovating, and we're going to turn it into a serviced accommodation. So this property, I think I've done a video before. If not, apologies. But I bought this how many years ago? 15. What are we on now? 20, 22. I bought it around about 14 or 15 years ago, and we've rented it out as a single let ever since. So we've had tenants in for around about 475, 480 a month. Because I've been doing a lot of courses, and because of tax situations, we've found that, and also because the building like a big Hermes distribution centre, and just over here, just at back here, there's a lot of new development going off regarding it's like a massive industrial estate. I think it's called Junction 36 or something like that. It's a big redevelopment area, and at the minute they've just put a there's a brand new McDonald's gone in, a brand new Costa, brand new Starbucks, and there's a Lidl coming, but there's also the Hermes Centre, and there's a big what they did, they put a road straight through, so either side were all fields, and now it's all going to be like industrial, and all units and things like that. So what we're doing is we're going to turn this into a serviced accommodation, so that not so much, well, I mean, if workers want to come and rent it out, it'll be fully furnished, and all they'll pay is the rent. So we'll cover the heating, energy bills, and we cover the council tax. So, and it's a business as well. So the single lets is not a business, and you get taxed on any mortgages that's on property, and you get taxed on any rent. But because it's this will be a business, we'll not get taxed on that. So I'll own this as a landlord, but we have an operating company that distributes all money once rent's been paid, and this is how it'll work. And obviously you get more money per month than you would a single let. And this is what I was saying. So we get about 475 for single let, and we'll be looking at about around about 2,300 to 2,500 a month as a fully furnished serviced accommodation. And serviced accommodation means when whoever's been living there for a week or whatever goes home, we'll clean it, get cleaners to come in and read up bedding and clean it all ready for Monday when they come back. So it's a bit more work than a lot more work than a single let, but it's more profitable in long run. And there's other benefits such as capital allowance once we've renovated it. So tenants have moved out, and you'll see when I sort of spin camera around what we're doing. So scaffold's going up next week, and these are old local authority houses. So bottom half's brickwork, and then top half is a solid wall. It's like a concrete wall, and they've been rendered, and they're notoriously poor for thermal bridging these. So walls inside get cold because it's just like a single solid wall. You've got a render on this. It's pebble dashing and aesthetically it looks not very good. So it looks mucky. It's like a sandy coloured render, and pebble dashing's dropping off. Council came round about, I think it was around about the same time as I bought it, so 14, 15 years ago, and their council houses, they insulated tops and they pebble dashed them in like a new pebble dashing type thing, which looks a lot smarter and it's a lot warmer, a lot more thermally efficient as well for EPC certificates. So this is what we're going to do. So to get it to standard that we need for a serviced accommodation, I need to spend a bit of money on it. So first job is to get rid of all wiring that's not needed. So they've put like tenants in past and people that owned it in past. They've put sky dishes and sky wires and aerials and everything through nearly every window frame and everything. So electrician's been to do a test on house. It wiring's decent, but we've got to get rid of all these wires and leads and things on outside. I think that's going to be done once scaffold goes up and before renderers come. So once that's done, that'll all be smartened up at top, and then we've got a bit more smartening up to do on bottom bit round where your steps are. There's a thing of it door, like an old little bit of a roof, so I'm going to take that down, and then we're going to put some cameras up. So there'll be a camera at front, maybe one outside, and then a bit better light. We're going to have a light that can be switched on at back, not that comes on with movement, and then we'll have a light that's on a sensor at front. What else can I tell you about it? So once outside's finished as well, we're going to get windows. At minute windows are Royal Oak or whatever, light oak I think they call it, and 14 years ago that was quite new, but what we're going to do is we're going to have them sprayed. So doors are quite good. I've just changed handles on them and locks, so doors are fairly sturdy. So we'll spray them, and just so it looks a bit more modern. I had considered having a black render put on top, but after talking with rendering guy and on about what type of windows we're going to have, he kind of said that it'd probably be better off having a lighter render. My only concern is over in that corner next door's downpipe has been leaking, and it is leaking on their side. There's no staining on mine, but if we ever leaked a light coloured render, then any drips over time, any drips, and especially off at window ledges and things like that, it'll stain down wall. Now if it were darker, then you're not going to get that issue. So I'll probably have to look at colours and make a decision on that once I've put first coat on. So you can get it in more or less any colour we were saying. So I'll take you inside now. You can have a look. So this is property from this side. As you can see, light oak windows, and that render on top, which is poor thermal bridgerer. We've got these key safes. So what we're doing as well, I've just ordered a new lockable electric box for outside. So we've got an electric box for meter, which has got a smart meter in, and this is old consumer unit, which is going to be moved to outside. And reason being is this pantry cupboard is going to be lockable, and we'll be able to store cleaning equipment, spare bedding, spare crockery, just everything that we need for cleaners to do their job, hoovers and things like that. So that'll be lockable. But if electric goes off at any point, then we need to be able to get to that electric box to flick it back on. We are, going in there. So that was that. Now we had kitchen ripped out. When I say ripped out, it was a decent kitchen before, but because we're going to be making it into a service accommodation, I want something that's going to be not mega high end, but it needs to be something that is new and nice. And once it's fitted, unlike having a tenants that let it out and are using it every day, every time cleaners come in, they'll be able to keep an eye on it. So once this is finished, it should be able to, in theory, be kept in showroom condition. And that's the idea, to do it like that. Even though we're spending a lot of money on it to start with, in theory it's going to last quite a while, because when cleaners come in, they'll be able to see if there's any damage. We'll ask anybody that rents it, if you do damage out, please let us know. And then it can be kept, in really good condition and maintained well, because we've got eyes and ears coming in all the time. So we've been to Howden's. They've been up and measured up, and if you see where the floor is there, so this had an island before. I think on other video you might have seen it when it were in. So I put it on Facebook. Somebody came. I gave it away for free, but they took everything out, took all appliances as well. Which, again, like I'm saying, I want appliances that's going to last. So I might even spend a bit more than what Howden's like. So the bottom appliances are, which is, I think it's Lamona. So I'll probably get something that's a bit more mid-range, and I should be getting that plan back any day. So that they'll be sending that soon, and we can look at whether it's right. So it's going to be in like a U-shaped now. So we're not having this island here, which is going to give it a more flow. At the time, when I first had it done, I thought, well, an island there, breakfast bar, ideal for a family. But this is going to be people that's coming in and out. So you're going to have your sort of cooker on here. Your cooker's going to be here. And then you're going to have units down here. There'll be a sink. And then we're going to have a washer, dishwasher, and a fridge and a freezer. Probably freestanding fridge and a freezer. The big tall units. Just so that it's spacious. We've covered this floor in here. Floor in here is decent. It's a decent flooring. Upstairs, I've got to shutter it, but down here we'll get away with. We had some issues up top here with sulfate salts, and I think I did a video where I pointed it out, which is on YouTube. We're up in that top corner. As you can see, plaster's dried out. We put a waterproof system and isolated the salts, but I cut that section out and all the salts dropped down. And what I'd said before was, people for some reason had took floorboards upstairs, and this must have been before I bought it, and been working on the fireplace when they blocked it up. Took all soot out and then swept it down here. It ran all the way along there, and then over a period of time that's become wet, and then them salts have migrated to the surface, and it showed up as if there were a pipe in there. So it looked like there were a pipe leaking. So it were wet through all the way along, and like there were some runs. and that's why I cut it out, because I thought, well, if there's a pipe behind there, I need to check whether it's leaking. And as soon as I knocked into it, plasterboard was wet through, so it just broke off. As soon as it broke off, all the shite dropped down. So it just all came down. You can still see a bit on bottom there, even though I hoovered it. So what I did then, I plasterboarded it, and then we put dry flex membrane onto the ceiling and down wall, and then onto corner here, and then skimmed it, and that's isolated salt. Put a hole in chimney breast at the bottom because it weren't vented. So now I've got that hole in there, so we're going to get air flowing up there, and then we've got like a vent with a fly screen on back, which will go on. Once that's decorated, it'll get put onto there. Coming through into staircase, I took carpet up, old carpet, which were an old brown sort of hard wearing one. Still had some life in it actually, which were a shame, but I'm putting all brand new in. All sockets are going to be changed as well. We're going to have them modern black, and that's what switches and double sockets on bottom are all going to have sort of what's the name for them? You know what you plug your phone into? We're going to have them anyway. And we've took there were a banister on this side, a banister that was sort of, it was fixed at wall by I don't know if they're still here. It was fixed at wall with but basically it was stuck out. They were on metal runners and things, and it was stuck out, and it was stuck out a fair bit. And I don't know why when we originally did it, we put it on that side. I think it might have been because we used old banister when I first did it up, so we probably took it off and then redid it. But what I'm doing is, so we've got what's called a sow's ear banister, and these fit flushed at wall, so that they'll fit onto wall, and it'll just come out about that far, which gives a lot more room for getting up and downstairs. So we're just coming upstairs now, and we had a laminate down. I'll tell you about laminate. So we had a laminate down, which has all been took up. Now, when I first got this property to rent out, I didn't want to do that much work to it to get it up and running for tenants, and it already had a skirting in, but they had carpets in. So we took all carpets out, and I wanted to put laminate flooring down. So if you want to leave your skirting in, when you put your laminate flooring down, you have to put what's called a scotia all the way around, which is a little bead, and that worked fine. Flooring were decent, but when I came in after the old tenants had left, I looked at the skirtings, and because they're old skirtings and they've been painted poorly, they had runs on them and they had bits, and they just looked old and just they didn't look right. So I made the decision to take all skirtings off all the way around, and take all and then take all flooring up, because there were a gap where scotia had been. So that wouldn't to look right, even if we'd have put new skirting in. So I made the decision. I thought, we'll put new laminate down, and a dark laminate. This what were down before were like it was a lighter colour, and there were some marks on it and stuff. So idea is to get a darker colour that's not going to be as noticeable if there's any marks. It'll sweep up nicer off it. So we're going to get something down that's like that. And when I say laminate, it might even be an engineered flooring. So also in this room, again, when I bought property, they had fitted wardrobes, so you can see we've replastered all the way along that back wall. Well, these were fitted wardrobes. They came out here, took a bit of room up, but it's storage. So I thought, well, I'll leave them in. Anyway, I left them in, and tenants used it, and it was fine. And so when I came in, I thought, I'm going to take them out because we'll just get some freestanding wardrobes if somebody's coming to stay here. They're not going to be fetching like loads and loads of clothes. So we'll just get some freestanding wardrobes for storage for clothes and things. And it's made it a bit, it's made it a lot bigger. So that's that bit. That's what we were going to have some more storage. Other thing that we're going to be sorting out is bathroom. Few issues in here. So it's a small bathroom. It's not massive. Baths and Oldham got a bit of an hole in it. So if somebody comes to stay in here, they want a nice bathroom, nice kitchen and a nice bathroom. And my idea is to kind of move things around in here so that the sink goes over to there. Can leave toilet more or less where it is. Take bath out and put like a shower cubicle in this bit, a decent sized one, and just make it a bit more spacious. So you've still got your essentials, toilet, sink, and shower, but also we'll kind of put some storage in. I'm going to change boiler. I'm going to change boiler to we'll try and get a smaller one, but something that's going to be have a 10-year warranty, just so that we're not messing about having to fix stuff all the time. If all goes wrong, we can just phone warranty up and get them to come out, and get it a bit smaller because it's tight under here. So we need to get something littler, a bit more energy efficient, and then we can box it in and then do something with this, get this carpet off here. So I'm waiting for bathroom guy to come. See, me thinking was, I know a lad who's got a bathroom company and they do a full job, so I can buy stuff off them and they'll come and they'll fit all lot. I mean, I've got a tiler, but they'll fit all lot. So that was idea. Pay for them to do a full job, buy stuff off him, and he can fit it as well. Then other thing is, I did think of windows to get them infinity blinds that fit in. We've got them on our house, and it just gives you a bit more room. Gives you a bit more room on windowsill and everything, and they're quite good. I like them. So I'm going to look at like having all windows done. Bathroom window ain't need doing. Might want to roll a blind or something on it. We had an issue. They've always had an issue here with this. I don't know if you can see it. There's like some pattern stain in there. So since the last lot of tenants moved in, they've got this pattern staining. They had pattern staining on here, and they used to have some water running down here, down this wall. And the issue with this wall, like I was saying before, is thermal coal bridging, because it's a solid wall. And trying to get into their head, trying to explain to them that it was condensation from inside that's going onto the wall. Well, like hitting my head against a brick wall. There's a PIV unit fitted in here, and I came in and had a look, made sure it was working. But they were saying that it was gutter that were leaking. Well, it weren't gutter that were leaking. It was just condensation forming on here. So what we did is we gave them some. They'd put their own damp paint on, which were wrong. So we gave them. I bought them a tin of SLto, which is an anti-condensation paint. once you painted that on, it kind of worked. So they didn't get it anymore. They didn't get any issues. But there were an issue here, and straight away when I came in, I thought, I know what that is. And I went up into loft, up into roof space, and it's boarded out so far. I mean, it's all been it's all been topped up. It's got 270 mil insulation, and it's even bloke who had it before last tenants. He worked for an insulation company when they were doing grants, and they must have got him to go. They're putting cavity wall insulation in cavity wall without asking me, and they also must have sprayed it in loft, so loads of loose all in loft. But when I went up and crawled into that bit, there were no insulation in that bit, and that's what you get. You get pattern staining from cold thermal bridging up here. So that's like a cold air pocket. That's where the roof is and tiles. So I've been up and I've got a stick and I've pushed all insulation down into that corner. And when we paint it, it'll get painted with anti-mold paint, anti-condensation paint. But when it's renovated, there'll not be any issues with that. So I'll make sure that's working. I don't know whether they were turning it off. I don't know whether they were going up and turning it off, because when I came in, it weren't on. I swapped electric over to so that we're paying for it. We Boost. They were already connected to Boost Energy, and I wanted to pay by direct debit. And for some reason, they'll not let us pay by direct debit. Can you believe that? You've got to have had 6 months debt-free or something, but you can pay on your phone. But they gave me some numbers, and I went down to the shop to try and pay for some credit on. This is why this is beeping. Try and get some credit on my phone. Try and get some credit on meters. And they were supposed to have sent me some cards out. So I ain't got them at my address. I ain't got them in letterbox here. So no cards, but they've given me serial numbers. So I asked them to try and put my credit on. She kept typing numbers in. No joy. So we are electric. Only way you can... And so I was trying to contact them yesterday. Couldn't get hold of anybody, but they said there was chat box function. So I went to try and get on chat box function and said, I put in, tell them that I wanted to get some energy on house. I wanted to pay direct debit, and they said only way you can pay direct debit is if you've got, I don't know, hospital machinery and stuff like that. So I'm trying to make some it up and tell them we've got a nebulizer. Britney Spears sing that. Anyway, this is what happens when you get old. You have to take a step at a time. So excuse me for not springboarding down these steps. So this is where we are. This is how far we've got with this SA. And I think what most people will say is, if you're organised and you do this all the time, renovations and things like that, you'd have your people ready to come in and be born after other trades that be in, and you've got them all programmed in. That's not how I work. It's not how I work. I'll wait for decent tradesmen. So if they're busy, I'll wait for them to come. I know time's money and all that, but I just want it right. I'm not going to pick any Tom, Dick and Harry to come and just because they can. We'll wait and we'll get right people in. So it'll be done over a period of time. But also I've got this one, and then we've just had a tenant come out at one of other single lets that I've got at Royston, and we're going to do that one as well. and we're just waiting for him to get keys back, because I went up the other day thinking that I could get him with keys I got. She's changed locks, and I noticed that there were an all-in door. They'd kicked an all-in door, or somebody's kicked an all-in door, so she's getting panel fixed apparently. And then we've just got to talk about the cast iron roll top bath that's gone missing. So when she first went in, and I'll do a video when we go up there. So when she first moved in, they were having it as a care room. We've got a shower cubicle, and we've got a cast iron Victorian roll top bath, claw feet, lovely. It was original feature. I had it re-enamelled and painted and things, and it were nice. And when they showed me pictures of the house, because it'd been cleared out, I had a look at pictures. No roll top bath. They have put a nice bath in and a nice shower oven bath. No roll top bath, no shower cubicle. So we're gonna have to talk about this, because that's £1,000 worth of bath. If I'd have known that they were going to get rid of it, I'd have said, leave it down at bottom, I'll come and pick it up and I'll sell it if you're not going to use it. So that's where we are. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'm going to keep you posted as I go along, and I'll even keep you posted to see whether we get tenants, and whether we get it rented out as an SA and started up as a business. But beauty about this, if it don't work as an SA, it can always be just rented out as a single let, even though it'll be a nice standard. But I'm going to make sure that it works as an SA, so even if it's a corporate let. So that's Damp Sam signing off on a foggy Tuesday. I hope you enjoyed this video and got some value from it. If you've got any questions, stick them in box. Give us a like, and please share if you think somebody's gonna get some value from it. And if you've got value, pass it on and let them have some value. And the other thing is, watch out for our podcast. We've just launched a podcast. By the time this video goes out, podcast will have gone out. So if you like listening to things on damp, all things damp, and a damp show, and you want to hear me tell some jokes as well and interview some people, then type in on your podcast, your podcast provider, which is on your Apple phone. There'll be a thing on podcasts. Click on it and search for The Damp Show, and you'll get me. And it'll be out every Wednesday, and you can give us a review on there if you like it. So that's Damp Sam. Seeing you on next time.